All right, wonderful. Let's see here. There we go. All right, looks like we are live on Facebook. So I want to welcome everybody to my live Facebook that I'm doing, an interview with Puya Ghandian. So I've done 2 interviews prior to this, if you're wondering what this is all about. As many of you know, I do a home-based business called Neora, and we help people look, feel, and live better. You've watched me do it for the past handful of years. You've seen incredible results. You've seen that I have a lot of fun, and it is definitely something that I love to do. So what I've decided to do, because of the climate of what's going on, and what I mean by that is, there's a lot of folks out there who are looking to supplement their income. There's a lot of folks out there that have been watching someone like me, or you've been watching a friend, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe I should reach out. Can I do that? And then you sit there and talk to yourself, and you talk yourself out of even reaching out to ask, even though you've been watching and you're like, wow, that maybe I could do something like that. What I've decided to do is I've decided to bring that decision to you rather than asking you to come to us. There's a lot of folks out there that are desperately in need for extra, especially because of what's happening in our world today. So I have invited a friend of mine who's also a mentor of mine to come on and answer a couple of questions and just do a quick interview. I've done 2 of them before with a teacher and a former business owner. And today my guest is someone very, very special, the top earner in the entire company that I'm with. But more importantly than that, is an unbelievable human being. He's going to share his background, which is very impressive and a lot of fun, because I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate in reference to where they've been or where they're at currently with his story. But more importantly, you're going to see that he's just a real person who's having a lot of success because he loves to help other people. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is introduce Mr. Puya Ghandian. And Puya, if you could please share with people a little bit of your background and how you got to the point where someone decided to, hey, Puya, I want you to take a look at Neora, because there's a lot of folks out there where they've had a lot of friends that have reached out and said, hey, I'd like you to take a look at XYZ, maybe even Neora, and take us through your thought process, how that person shared it with you, the thought process you had in reference to maybe some hesitation, some doubt, and why you ultimately said yes. So background and the process to where you said yes.
Awesome. Well, first I want to just say I'm completely honored to be on here with you, and I appreciate being one of the guests. I know the lineup you've already had, and I'm just honored to be here contributing and being a part of this. So I will say that my journey started specifically with Neora a little over 9.5 years ago. At the time, I was 23 years old. I was actually the VP of Business Development for an advertising agency, literally on the other side of the street of where I live right now. And I loved what I did. You know, I showed up early, I stayed late. It was fun getting a chance to be a part of projects with Sony Pictures. And although it was a fast-paced, lucrative industry, one of the things that I just didn't see myself doing for a long period of time was working, 80, 70, 60-hour work weeks and doing that for the next 40 years of my life to hopefully retire at that point. So needless to say, I wasn't out seeking or looking for anything because, my parents, having immigrated from the Middle East taught me the discipline of hard work. So I wasn't going to call up my boss and say, hey man, you're overworking me and underpaying me. So I did what I needed to do to, afford a life. And what happened was on September 18th of 2011, I remember it being a weekend afternoon, and I was sitting at home watching TV, and I just started scrolling through Facebook. And I was somewhat of a new social media person at that time. And I saw a post by a good friend, someone that I had actually known for quite a few years at that point. And he was talking about, this ground floor opportunity with breakthrough products. And when I started to see what the product was really doing to people's skin, I thought, who wouldn't want to get these type of results using a botanically derived product that's priced competitively well? So needless to say, I made a decision, I got started. I took a look at some of the videos that the company originally had and immediately started plugging into that system. So that's where I was. That was my background. That's how I got introduced to the business. And I'd say one of the things that really pulled that drew my interest was the leadership that was involved with the company.
Awesome. So now we're going to talk about that in reference to leadership, because you being one of the leaders now, obviously, it's the same reason why I decided, excuse me, to join the business, because it wasn't so much skincare. I thought, what am I going to do? Facials? Like, I didn't get it. But I knew who Jeff Olson was as well did you. But when someone shared this with you, and I think this is a twofold thing, and maybe you can just expand on this, is that the person that was gonna share it with you at first didn't. And this is something I think a lot of people go through. They like play the tape through in their head of all the negative things that could happen if they were to join a business like this. And one of them is exactly what happened to you. Somebody had joined the business and they thought, oh, I'm not going to talk to Puya because he would never do this. And so they didn't.
Right.
And that is a fear that most people think. They go through their mental Rolodex of people they know, and they make the decision for everybody without reaching out to them. So if you could talk about that first, and then talk about why you said yes, specifically when it comes to leadership.
I think the fear that I constantly have is that fear of like being prejudged, right? Or having people within my organization prejudge another individual for whatever preconceived notions, right? But you're right. There were two individuals in specific who happened to have been involved in the business and prejudged, right? For a variety of reasons. One being that I had experience in the industry that wasn't so favorable. And I remember at that time saying that never again am I going to do one of those businesses. And, for whatever reason, this individual said, you know what? Puya is a VP of business development. He's in the ad tech space. He's making some money. He's hustling. He's working. And plus, he's not interested in network marketing. And I got prejudged on that front, which is fine, but I feel somewhat of a mistake at this point. And then the second individual was a really, really great friend of mine as well. Love her dearly, but she got started in the business and prejudged me because at the time we just had one product and it was an anti-aging wrinkle cream. Although she was right in her preconceived notions that I wouldn't be interested in anti-aging wrinkle product because I don't have any wrinkles to worry about. I feel because of that prejudgment, it judged on whether I'd be interested in the business. So I, for myself, was not even approached for Neora. I actually was the individual that reached out to my sponsor because I saw a post and it intrigued me, and I knew of the individual to be extremely successful. And I believe associations have so much to do with it. And when you look at the entire executive leadership team of the company, those were and are the people that I want to be like, that I want to grow like and become more like because of the impact they're having in people's lives. So it does corner back into that realm of leadership.
Awesome. So I think that's a great lesson for many people if they're thinking about doing a business like this, that the people they think would do it probably won't or might not. And the people they think would never do it, so I won't talk to them, turn out to be somebody like you who becomes the top earner in the company. So that's something that I want people to think about when they're thinking, I like the results or whatever it is. It is about sharing the information with everybody and letting them make the decision, number one. The second thing is I want to talk about and ask you is, has there ever been a time since you said, you know what, I'm signing up, I'm doing this? Have you ever had difficult times in the business? Or has it just been a cakewalk and it's like totally cool? Because a lot of people think, oh, it's the people that get involved and they go to the top. They don't have to go through things that normal people go through. Have you had to go through things in order to get to where you are? And how did you do that? Was it by yourself and you just said, that's because I'm so great? Or was it through a lot of personal development and associations?
All of that. Like everything you said is like, you answered the question, which is fine, but I'll go into it a little bit more because, one of the things that I've learned from my mentor, Tony Robbins, is that regardless of what goal it is that you have in your life, in order for you to go from where you are to where it is that you want to be in any aspect, there's a few things that you need to know. One, you need to know where it is that you are. Two, you need to know in complete clarity and detail where it is that you want to go. Very similar to the GPS system on your phone, right? You can't just say, hey, take me to Orange County, California, because you're not going to end up at my front doorstep. But when you put in the building number, the street name, the city, the state, the zip, it zeroes in and puts you at my front doorstep. And our business and our mindset operates in very much of a similar way. So yes, I had to grow significantly as an individual and step outside my comfort zone in order to grow and to be able to attract the things and results that I wanted in my life. But I also tell people that, to never compare yourself to one individual, right? Because some may look at me and think, wow, what an incredible overnight success. But what they don't see is the story behind the story. They don't see the 5 years prior of, going through a car repossession, renting a room out of a friend's house, waiting tables at a restaurant, trying to figure things out and who I am to become the person that could rise through the ranks in corporate America, that could step into a business like this and reach out to a network and expand on it. So yes, there's an incredible growth period, but what you learn and who you become in this as a result of this, you can apply to every aspect of your life as well. And one of the benefits I think you get as a result of being in this type of a business model is your associations, right? You are the average of the 5 people that you associate with. So if that's 5 happy, motivated, ambitious, driven, successful, healthy people, essentially you're going to start picking up a lot of those habits. So you get a lot of that inside of this environment, a lot of people who have your best interests at heart. And at the end of the day, where else do you go? And people are like, excuse me, can you write down what your New Year's resolutions are and what your goals are and share them with us so that they become ours and we help you achieve them? I think that's one of the parts that I love also about Neora so much is yes, you can come here, strive after the achievement, but what's success without the fulfillment portion of it? And you get that opportunity to be fulfilled by helping other people achieve similar results.
Now, I tell you what, piggybacking on that really quickly, I know that for people that don't know, you're a former top 100 global Tony Robbins performance coach. And in all the time, and in all of the arenas that you've been in reference to a winning environment to help people grow, and not just the rah, but like getting down and helping someone say, we want to help you. How would you compare Neora's environment for someone who's brand new, green, coming into a place like this, that's never really dreamed before? How would you describe that to somebody without, blowing them out of the water with, oh my God, this, it's because there's so many people in our company that have never done a business like this before and who are having success.
And what you find is a majority that are actually having success have never had experience like this before, right? Dental hygienists, nurses, lawyers, traditional business owners, pharmaceutical sales reps, doctors, OBGYNs, people from all teachers, people that have literally never done this, but are stepping into a business model. And truth be told, like, look at the world that we live in today, right? We, as I feel a company, we're positioned and prepared for what most people consider a stay-at-home world. And, for myself, I live in California. Everything is literally on a stay-at-home order for the next 3 weeks. And I think to all the traditional small businesses who already had geographical restrictions and e-commerce versus retail going against them, we positioned ourselves 9.5 years ago, believing this was where the world was going. We didn't anticipate that it was going to go from where we thought it was going to be in 2030 to here in 2020, because people are wanting to purchase what they need and want virtually and have it delivered to their front doorstep, which we've perfected again. But then on the other side of it, you have this whole e-commerce influencer model where people can now go out there and essentially use a product, love it, and share from their own results what other people can get from it. I think it's just the most brilliant model that's out there. And I may add that, yes, we represent anti-aging skincare, wellness, hair care, and we will be transitioning into other verticals such as weight management. But think of it this way, we as a company, I believe, are a personal development company that's wrapped in all of these anti-aging products. So, I think at the core of it, we live out our mission of making people better.
Mm. And I'd love to know, what is your favorite part about Neora? Is it the products? Is it the culture? Is it the leadership? Has it changed over the years? Has one moment it's been the culture and then it went to leadership? What is it that stands out to you in reference to your favorite part of this company?
I think it's what I just said in the closing of my last question it's our mission statement to make people better, right? Our company's goal wasn't to go out there and create the most millionaires, which I think we've done a fantastic job at in a pretty short period of time. It wasn't to be one of the fastest companies to do $1 billion in cumulative sales, even though I think we've done a pretty spectacular job at doing that. It wasn't to, develop the most incredible, products that deliver real results that are backed by real science to people. Although I claim we've done a fantastic job at that, I think it falls back into our mission statement, which is 3 words: make people better. I am a product of this company living out its mission statement. I started at 23 years old, had a lot of skills and mindsets and philosophies that I needed to learn. But thankfully, because of the mentors and the leadership and the training and, the books, I've been able to go out there and, as a result, become a better version of myself, but now turn around and focus on helping other people do the same thing. So my favorite part, make people better.
It's awesome. If in closing out, and I want to first of all thank you again for this quick interview. I wanted to do this so that people see that even the people at the very top are normal, fun, awesome people that you can just have a conversation with, talk to. And I want everyone to know how much you have impacted my life and so many other people in this company. You are my direct mentor in this business, and you have opened my eyes in business and in goal setting in ways that I'd never seen before. So I'm super grateful that I get to be in your organization and work closely with you.
The honor is mine, my friend. Please, you are the famous Tim, so it's an honor to be here and a part of this.
Famous.
Stages with Tim, folks.
So to close out, how has, and I know you've touched on it, but to drive home the point to people that might be looking at Neora specifically, or any business for that matter, who might be on the fence, how has this industry and this company specifically changed your life, and why now would anyone want to take a look at us?
I just think, as far as what I've learned, is the T in timing far outweighs the T in talent. And I'm not saying I'm a very talentless person, but I do know that I've seen timing play a role in pretty much every company that's ever came into the world today. And as you look through Neora's very successful and fruitful industry, right? 9 years later, nearly 2 billion plus in cumulative sales. I've counted the countless number of people that have had success. And let's not even get started on the hundreds of thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people that have gotten results using our products, right? As I look back and I look forward, I feel I'm more excited today just because of where we're marching into in 2021. When we started this company, or when the leadership of the company started 9 years ago, I don't think they ever envisioned what would be happening here today. But I believe the reason we're having the success and it's multiplying and going through the explosive momentum that this company is going through right now is because of how well positioned and prepared it was, not to react to a circumstance or situation like this, but to be prepared and respond. And there's so many different pockets of momentum that are showing up all throughout the company. And with the new product vertical that we're going in right now, when you look at this industry and you look at all the multi-billion-dollar companies on an annual basis, a large majority of those companies come from the vertical that we're barely going to be stepping into. So think of all that massive success that we've had over 9 years. Push that into a tidal wave that's coming into 2021. I believe that the T in timing is going to play in all of our favor. And that's why I think no better time than right now to get your goals clear on what you want to achieve in the new year and to see what role Neora can play in helping you achieve that. I will circle back on the question that you asked at the very beginning. And, one of the things I want to say was, I was talking to an individual and they shared with me how they've been setting a lot of goals and they just feel like they haven't been hitting them. Right. And I asked them, I was like, so they feel like a failure. And I said, so what's your definition of a failure? And they said, well, when I set a goal and I don't hit it, I consider myself a failure. And I listened, and my response to that was, well, in that case, by the definition that you've given me, all I've done in my 9 years of being a brand partner with this company is simply fail my way forward. Because what I've done more than anybody else that's here is set a ton of goals and miss a bunch of goals. But what I've always done is stay consistent. What I've always done is stayed on the horse. And what I've always done is I've bounced back with the personal development and the association. So I keep myself focused on what it is that I really want. The way it's changed my life, again, I don't think there's nothing in my life that I don't think that I would be able to do because of the wealth of knowledge that I've gotten through all the personal development that, Neora introduced into my life. So what I've been able to do for my life, what I've been able to do for the countless lives of people that I care about within my family, we don't even have enough time to go into that. But again, when you can get into a place where you're blessed, those you care about are blessed, you turn around and ask yourself, how can we do that for other people? And that's what Neora's gifted me at a very young age in life. So
well, that's awesome. Puya, I'm grateful for you. I know everybody that's watching this wants to share with as many people as possible. We are in flat out momentum, and what we're about to do, like Puya said, is going to, what we've done or what we're about to do is not even in comparison. What we've done is going to pale in comparison to what we're about to do. So thank you for sharing your story and a little bit about who you are to help those out there that have been watching. There's a lot of folks out there watching, and so we want to help them maybe make a decision that benefits them.
And I know there's a lot of you that are watching right now. So put in a live in the comment section below, or if you're going to catch this on replay later, feel free to put replay and we'll come through and share some love and say hello to you too. And if there's a question or a conversation that you feel either of us could be a part of that could help you make a better equipped, educated decision, we're all here and very easily accessible. Thanks, Tim.
We sure are. Thanks so much, Puya. Take care, everybody.